Hey everybody, you're very welcome to In Forest and Lands. I'm Joe Price, wilderness skills instructor and product developer in the outdoors, and I'm in the outdoors today, the great outdoors, to tell you about this, the Kantamus 40L, the latest backpack from Savotta. Savotta are a Finnish company that specialise in load-bearing equipment for outdoor professionals and recreationists alike. They are most known for the Yakari series of bags, but as of late have been moving on and bringing out new products in the line of backpacks that they offer to us civilians and in the recreational space, the Kantamus being one of them. I saw this backpack last year at Iwa and I just could not wait to get my hands on it. Now, where I come into the frame with Savotta is 7 years ago. They approached myself and said, hey, we've got a sled and we have a little shelter here in Finland and you need to come check it out. We want to show you our backpacks. And 7 years ago I did, and there's photos and stuff of that all over the internet. I've starred in some commercials for Savotta too, and their commercials in and of themselves are absolutely fantastic. Fast forward 7 years and I now consider them a family friend, and they sent me this backpack a while ago to take on a spin, and a spin I took it on. So when it comes to the Kantamus, or when it comes to any Savotta backpack, instantly on the outside you notice PALS webbing all over the place. You have PALS webbing on the front, there's even PALS webbing under this lid, PALS webbing behind the pockets, in front of the pockets, inside the pockets, everywhere. So when you go and buy your Savotta backpack, and that's what I like about them, it offers modularity. Savotta make also all the pouches that go on the front here. They all come in different sizes and different arrangements. And again, like I said, that is what I like most about it, because I'm not always doing the same things in the woods. Sometimes I'm just going out to do a bit of forestry management, manage my land, and I just need basically a backpack to carry my tools. Other times I'm heading out with Ida and we are going camping for 24, 48 hours, and I want to switch up and change the outside. So I'm going to show you what I have on the outside here for this particular 24-hour trip that myself and Ida are on. Straight off the bat, most noticeably on the sides of the backpack, I have the 6-litre pouches. In this side, I have my kitchen, and in that side, I have my shelter. And I have videos on these on my channel from over the years. It is the same equipment that is in them now, and if you want to go check them out, you can look at the video links below. The 6-litre pouches are absolutely fantastic. They got these PALS webbing on the outside, and then inside they have a key keeper and a little sleeve for those kind of smaller things like maps and ground sheets. They attach really easily. They are 4 wide to the PALS webbing on the Kantamus 40-litre backpack. You have these compression straps on the outside made of the sturdy plastic that you see on Savotta backpacks. Some surprise additions on the back of this backpack, which I can't wait to show you. But down the bottom, and I've seen people talk about this, is this little pocket here. This is one of these pockets that I'd rather be looking at it than looking for it. It is not a water bottle pocket. Everybody puts their water bottles in it, the water bottles fall out and they start losing their little Reddit revolutionary minds. This pocket here is literally just there, so you can add a few bits to it, multi-tools, phones, wallets, keys, just to have offside on your backpack. But also mainly it's for when you have equipment like skis or trekking poles on the side. That's a nice safe place to put them and keep them from wobbling around on the outside of your bag. On the front of the backpack here, I have it set up for myself and Ida's 24-hour trip on the ground. I have a tourniquet on the outside because we are using heavy tools. This tourniquet pouch I absolutely love. It's from Savotta as well. It's in their MO5 pattern. I will get one in green because I do like my stuff to be blended together, but they have it in an assortment of colours. It has a pen holder either side of the tourniquet pouch for if you need to write on it or you need to take medical notes. I have a small admin pouch over here which does exactly what it says on the tin. I have a head torch in there, some wipes, some cordage, etc. And I have a multi-tool on this side. These are reflective dog collars which can be woven through PALS webbing, a great tip shown to me by Ida, and it allows me to be able to see my backpack when I wander away from camp. But also if I wander away from camp, I can take these off and I can put them around my arms or around my hat or around my leg or any other form of equipment should I want to go wandering in the woods. They are not IR specific, they are only UV and light reflective, but they're only a couple of euro and you can weave them through the PALS webbing. Over on this side, if I just open up these other secure buckles here, there is 2 loops. I have 2 carabiners on there, and then I have some 10 stakes down the front and some pre-made toggles. The reason why I have the front of my Kantamus set up like this is because from many years out in the woods, I have to go rooting inside the backpack, and that is something that will slowly drive me absolutely insane. When I get to camp, and I've kept a close eye on this, I don't like to go rooting in there, oh, my head torch, and it's down the bottom here, or oh, I need to find my maps, and they're over here. I like to get to camp, especially especially if it's raining and snowy and miserable, and just be able to set up a quick shelter and get on a quick brew and do whatever I need to do. So that is the front of the backpack here. Also, most noticeably, on the side is a zip. It's a large zip, and I love Savotta zips. It's a mystery. I don't know where they get them. It's made of Mithra. I haven't got a clue. They buy them from the elves. But these zips, they're just unbelievable, and I absolutely love them. They come from the Yakari line, and yeah, on the Yakari, they're a single-sided one, but on the Kantamus, they are double-sided. So you can lay your backpack down like so, and it gives you quick access to your tools should you want them. I personally keep my axes close to these pockets and my saws close to these pockets so I can access them very easy. On the bottom, they have PALS webbing as well. Like I said, it is all over these bags, so you can attach bedrolls, sleep equipment, whatever you feel. I am not a fan of personally keeping bedrolls and sleep equipment on the outside of my backpack. I don't like to wobble around and have them floating off. Plus, what I've noticed is an awful lot of people keep sleeping bags and tents on the bottom of their backpacks, and the very first thing that they do when they get to camp, and ground like this is very rocky, very stony, is they sit their backpack straight down, and I have actually seen people puncture their sleeping bags and puncture their camping equipment. That takes us up to the top, to the brains of the Kantamus backpack. And the brains has been completely redesigned from the rest of the Savotta line, and it's absolutely fantastic. So you got this massive morale patch, this loop up here. Savotta actually make these really cool IR reflective patches that you can put on here or attach to your helmets, but I like to just keep it free for morale patches, so when I'm walking along the trail, everybody knows that I am a fan of Star Wars. On the front, there's a small pocket up here. I basically just keep my phone or my wallets so I can access them handily. You have shock cord up the top for your ponchos or whatever you wish, or like today where the weather is very changeable, I can take my hoodie on, take my hoodie off, slide it in here. Round the back, you got this large pocket. And I mean, that's one of the fantastic things about how Savotta works. This backpack, and mainly all Savotta products, are very deceiving to the eye. I recommend watching videos on them so you can see just how to cut. You can keep stuffing things into this lid. Now, rough guesstimations, the lid is about 8 litres. It can hold between 6 and 8 litres. But you can, if you pack it cleverly, you can get a lot of stuff in here. I have my first aid kit, I have my poncho, I have my rain cover for the backpack, and there's still plenty of space to go. I also like this rear opening because I keep nothing hard in the main body of my backpack. I keep it all on the outside in these 2 pockets here. On the inside of the backpack is just my sleeping equipment, myself and Anita's tent, my sleeping pad, and so on. So when I get to camp, I like to be able to put this bag on the ground. Savotta uses a 1000 Cordura that I'm convinced is recycled tank armour, and I have yet to put a hole in a Savotta backpack. So I'm very comfortable putting this on the ground and sitting on top of it, and when I sit down at camp, I like to be able to open this up, access what I need to get, close it, and go on about my merry business. But that's not all that the brain does. The brain has also got these buckles on the back, which you can then detach. And you have a floating lid. That's actually what this style of lid is called. It is a floating lid, and you can higher it or lower it or remove it completely. And on the underside here, you guessed it, more PALS webbing. If there's a space for PALS webbing, Savotta will put it there. So you have more webbing here, and you also have the ability with these buckles and these straps to make it into a chest rig, should you decide to do that, or you're floating around camp, or a comfy pillow, should you need one. But I'll just leave him here. The top is a roll top construction. No need to see what's in there. Like I said, it's just sleeping equipment, and you can extend it up a few more inches, get 40 and a bit. And that's one thing I recommend with the pouches. As you can see now, this is a 40 litre. Comfortable if you have 2 people carrying accoutrements for a 24-hour period in the woods, or if it's summertime and you happen to be carrying ultralight stuff. But with these 2 pouches here, it is now up to 52 litres, and that's a little bit more easy when you're out and about in the woods. On the back, there's been some massive changes to some of the line of Savotta. You can see straight away that we have these straps, these large padded cut straps that are actually very comfortable to carry. Up here, you have a neck carry handle. If you haven't purchased a Savotta backpack before, the first thing you'll notice is there's not exactly a massive amount of adjustment to them, but there is adjustment there for a little bit of height and a little bit of width. And they are done by these riser straps here, which you can then take out and feed. This is actually set up. I'm a pretty tall guy, 6'2". So I have this set up for the tallest, set up where it's comfortable to me, and the riser straps have the straps up here. But if you happen to be a shorter framed person, you can remove all these and you can lower the straps down. It gives you a couple of inches of play, and sometimes a couple inches is enough. On the back, then moving down, you have this large foam pad here, which I'm so glad that they've added to the Kantamus. This pad is so thick that you can carry almost anything in the backpack here, and it won't stab you in the back so much that you're urinating blood for a week when you get home. It's brilliant. And this pad sits in to protect you from this aluminium frame that's taken from the carry line that sits in this sleeve here that is held in there with some Velcro hook and loop. A great addition to this is those who have internal frame backpacks as well, external frame backpacks that the frame sits in a sleeve. Water can get in there on more inclement days, snowy days. Who knows? Maybe you fall through some ice. Either way, water in your frame compartment is going to damage your frame over time. So you have drainage holes. So if you get water in here, there is drainage holes just behind this hip belt. And this hip belt is made out of the same padding. You can see how thick this hip belt is. It is completely removable, should that be your taste. I personally don't like that. I find that these backpacks, especially military-inspired backpacks, tend to ride a little higher than your outdoor hiking backpacks. So having that extra bit of padding on the coccyx and the lumbar region is really, really nice for when you're mincing about in the woods, especially if you're covering large miles, or like some of us tend to do, if you tend to overload your backpack just a little bit. It's nice to have that padding on the coccyx because that's where it's going to affect you first. The hip belt itself has this awesome Wu Jin buckle on the front of it that pops off and pops back on. This I just absolutely adore because it's one of the pet pains that I have when it comes to backpacks. I'm usually out in the more inclement colder months and I have to use maybe mitts or gloves, and the pinch buckles can become a bit of a pain, especially if the thumb gaps and the finger gaps on those buckles are pretty small. This one now goes together pretty easy, and with a flick of a finger it comes off. Also fantastic. And I like these buckles for if you do happen to get snagged up in some brush, or if you happen to be a professional outside, say for an arborist, and you need to get the backpack off you pretty quickly, or if you happen to fall through some ice, these little flicks are absolutely fantastic. I would like to see these extended on more backpacks, and I would like to see them extended up to places like this. So if you are wearing, say, like a combat vest, or anyone who plays airsoft or playing jokes on their friends, you do have those quick pulls and the combat vest comes off you. So having these quick release buckles, should you get tangled up in a bit of a bad situation, is a great way to get these backpacks off you fairly quick. Besides there, we have padding again on the waist belt that is very easily removed via these ladder lock buckles, and you can attach these water bottle pouches should you want to, or dump pouches should you want to. If you don't fancy these side pockets here won't hold a water bottle. If you remove this padding, the hip belt itself is very easily tucked into this compartment here where the frame rests, and you can get the hip belt out of your way for a bit of strap management. The Kantamus 40. As you can see, a fantastic look at the lineage and learning that Savotta have gone through over the past 7 years. You're getting to see some really good products coming out now from Savotta, the Kantamus being one of them, and one of my favourites. It is now a lot more adaptable, it is now a lot more modular, and it's now a lot more comfortable. They didn't need to make it tougher because that wasn't a problem Savotta had in the first place. So the Kantamus now is finding that beautiful space for recreational and professional people that require toughness, comfort and modularity. It's been a pleasure to bring you this video. I look forward to getting many more miles in with the Kantamus, and if you want to check out any more on the range, you can click the link below, head on over to Savotta, become a member of the cult and join me in future videos. Until then, peace.